Of course, you already know what happened on that floor. Dejanay Carrington put Sophie Cunningham on the ground, got ejected, and then the first thing out of her mouth was out of her fingers really, was white privilege. But the part that actually stayed with me wasn't the foul. It was what the coach did next. Stephanie White looked at her own player on the floor and still found a way to defend the one who hit her. I want you to watch how long this has been happening.
Whoa!
Be able to see how hard the foul is right here. That's a hard foul, and she does get her in the face.
Carrington trying to dribble out of trouble and knocks down Sherrod, and now we have a little scuffle there on the sideline.
There was a little wind up there, and there was some follow through.
Whoa! If she would have had extensions, it would have come off.
I saw.
Tarek in pain after she caught that fingertip in the eye or right around it from Carrington with no whistle.
Down and collapsed. Leaves open 3 opportunities.
Bark nudged by Carrington.
So this ain't one bad night. That she is at the same physical style being allowed until somebody finally got tired of watching it. And the second it got called, the race car comes out like it's the only language some people know how to speak. If the roles were reversed, come on now, stay with me. If the roles were reversed here, the headlines would still be writing themselves right now. But because it went this way, half the timeline is busy explaining why the contact somehow wasn't that serious. Now, I want you to watch how fast the story actually gets flipped.
I think. All we want to know, are you watching Indiana? Oh, am I in Indiana? No. I'm in CT, but I will be tuned in. Why? I will be tuned in an hour. Oh my gosh. Next hair color. Well, I went back to my natural color today of ash blonde. Yes, I said natural. I had kind of, I think. All we want to know.
Okay, well, she posts white privilege after the ejection, and somehow the conversation becomes about her hair instead of the hit. I guess that's the move. Of course, I didn't watch the full live stream to know if there was any expansion on it, but shift the subject, make the foul about identity, make the victim prove she didn't deserve it. It's the same playbook every time accountability shows up. Turn the mirror around and dare anybody to look in it. Now, this right here wasn't necessarily a doubling down, but this is the part that should make every coach uncomfortable.
What is the method to her madness? I'm talking about Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White. I have brought this up multiple times, how she doesn't go out of her way to defend her players, especially Sophie Cunningham. I mentioned it last week when Sophie Cunningham was elbowed in the face and Cunningham was whistled for the foul. No argument by Stephanie White, even though it was so obvious Cunningham was the victim there. And then, of course, what happened Saturday, Dejanay Carrington taking out Sophie Cunningham. We all saw the video. We all saw what happened to Carrington. We all saw and read her Threads post after she was thrown out of the game. And oh, by the way, where is the league on this? I don't care what, even though it was ridiculous that she wrote white privilege, by the way, but I don't care if she wrote, dog privilege. You should not be allowed, after you're thrown out of a game, during a game, whenever, players should not be allowed to post on social media. Is there a fine coming there to Miss Carrington? For goodness sake. What is going on with this league? But let's get back to Stephanie White. In the post game, after Saturday's win by the Fever, which, oh, by the way, Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell continue to light up everything. Fantastic combo. What a team. Stephanie White is defending Dejanay Carrington. I didn't hear anything about Sophie Cunningham, her own player. All I heard was about, that's the way Dejanay plays. That's the way she plays.
So Linda Khan, said it plain. Stephanie White spent more energy explaining DeJournet's competitiveness than standing up for Sophie Cunningham after she got hit in the head and the neck. In my opinion, personally, I'm just saying, I don't think that's proper coaching. That's choosing the safer narrative over your own player. When a coach starts protecting the optics more than the people wearing the same jersey, the locker room, I'm sure, is going to feel it. And the fans, they see it clear as day. And then Clay Travis said the quietest thing out loud without even trying.
For saying I'm a woman, they would say I'm racist for saying I'm black. Think about how broken that is. Also, this woman, she's got a blonde wig on. Why is she culturally appropriating white girls' hairs? This is completely unacceptable. Again, this is their own rules. They're all absurd when they're logically applied across the board, which I think all reasonable people should do.
All right.
For saying.
So, he looked at the blonde hair and asked the question nobody on the left seemingly wants to touch. If everything is about cultural lanes and appropriation, why does the rule only run one direction? Look, man, they'll lecture you and lecture the country about hair and about culture and about privilege until one of their own is the one wearing it. Then it suddenly becomes her choice and leave her alone. The standard only exists when it's useful. Now I want you to take that same energy and apply it here.
Right now I'm just having a blast in my feminine era. I never thought that I was a woman. I've always trusted the science. I thought I was a man my entire life, but after further review, strong look at my personal preferences, it would appear that I am indeed sometimes identifying as a transgender woman, and I think it's only fair I get a chance to play with some of my queens here in the twilight of my career, my athletic prime.
Well, and so exactly what you're saying, Royce, is just sort of pulls the curtain back on the lack of clarity in the WNBA's policies under Article 8 of their 2026 collective bargaining agreement.
Well, okay. What's the problem? What's wrong? What's the problem? I'm not seeing one. On Friday, 2 former NBA players declared themselves eligible to play in the WNBA. So how are they able to do this? Well, you just heard one example. This is Royce White. He's explained how he now identifies and how he feels. And okay, so what does the WNBA rules actually say? Specifically, we're talking about the league's collective bargaining agreement. It says that only players who are women are eligible to play in the WNBA, but it contains no further definition on what qualifies as a woman. That ambiguity is exactly what's being tested. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert released a memo stating that this issue will continue to have the WNBA's attention, that the league would be approaching this thoughtfully and respectfully. In fact, they're going to have a task force. There it is again, a task force that is going to review this and figure out how to move forward. WNBA's rules says only women. Real battleground is around not defining what a woman actually is. This is an old ambiguity finally being forced out into the open. So is Royce going to be able to play in the WNBA? And should you have an issue with that, how could you? According to his feelings and how he identifies. So let's see how the WNBA responds to this. I go into greater detail on this topic over my Substack. You can click the link in my bio to join my community.
So do that. ASAP, y'all know I always pin the ad handles, the Twitter handles in the pin section, my fault. But 2 former NBA players say they're identifying as women and want to enter the WNBA draft. And just like that, the same people who spent years saying trans women are women start shifting their seats. They start shifting in their seats, too. The rule was simple when it was theoretical. The second actual men with size and strength step into the line, the definition gets real quiet. That's not inclusion. Man, that's a slogan that only works until it call something. Now, I want you to watch how fast certainty disappears.
The truth is trans women are women, and so if they would like to play women's sports, then that would be something that they should do as women.
A few former NBA first-round picks came out yesterday and declared for the WNBA draft. Are you supportive of them?
Yeah, so if they truly were trans, then I would be perhaps supportive of them, but they're not.
Who determines who's really a woman, though?
I would say I would love to see them play against Asia Wilson and beat her. I doubt they would. So thank you so much. The truth is trans women are women, and so if they would...
She said trans women are women with a whole chest. You know, until the names, you know, Ings, Cantor, and Royce White come up. Then it became, well, they aren't women. So who decides? The same people who told us the question was settled now can't answer it when the faces don't fit the story. You know? That's the whole thing in one exchange. The ideology collapses the moment it has to be consistent. This wasn't just a foul. It was a coach choosing a narrative of our own player. It was a race car used as a shield. It was a league that spent years telling us the rules are clear until rules start applying to the wrong people. You know, when feelings become more important than fairness, somebody always ends up unprotected. Usually the one who can't change the story with a hashtag, I'm just saying. Sophie Cunningham got hit, got up, and still had to watch her own coach explain the other side. That's the part that sits wrong, not because of color, but because of loyalty. If the people in charge won't protect the ones on the floor, the rest of the conversation is just noise. So I want you to drop the word bust in the comments if you caught what really happened here. And if you made it this far, you already know why the algorithm keeps trying to hide conversations like this. I'm going to leave y'all with my brothers. Nah, I don't want to do that scripture. I'm going to read this one. This is the one I like. Justice is turned back and righteousness stands far away. For truth has stumbled in the public squares and uprightness cannot enter. Excuse me. I don't know why I suffered on that word. But that's Isaiah 59:14. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.